This is KGW News at Sunrise.
A fire over the weekend shuts down a longtime staple in Gresham's restaurant scene. We're going to take a closer look at the damage to Heidi's as the owners there look to make repairs and reopen. Plus,
if somebody commutes from the state of Washington, which many do, to Portland, from Vancouver to Portland, it's going to be a huge mess.
And there would likely be a lot of local people thrown off by getting rid of daylight saving time in Oregon, but that idea is on the table right now in Salem. A new bill calls for keeping standard time in place all year long in the state. The latest on the timely topic coming up in one of our top stories.
one time that is not changing, it seems, is Dame time.
Bring it.
Oh, yeah. Well, some would say the greatest Blazer of all time, right? Went off last night in the NBA's All-Star game. I mean, he just stepped up at half court and said, I'm going to hit from here, please. Bam! Dame led the way for the East All-Stars. We'll have more on his big night at the All-Star game coming up here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, lots of stuff to talk about this morning.
Yeah.
Rod, yeah, wow.
Well, I mean, that's exciting.
I know, it's pretty cool.
I wonder what he's going to do. He's going to shoot.
Yes, he's going to make it. Hey, glad you're here on this Monday. What are we looking at weather-wise?
President's Day, and to be clear, so my calendar, you spend money on these paper calendars. I still do that. My calendar says Washington's birthday today, which is not correct. It's President's Day.
Yes.
Washington's birthday, Google this, is on Thursday, February 22nd, back in 1732. But I'm upset at my calendar.
Can you look up Lincoln's birthday next? Because I believe we set this holiday to fall between the two birthdays.
And you're correct. Just my calendar should not say Washington.
You paid for it.
It should say President's Day. Here I am walking around the world thinking I know what's going on, and I don't. Here's a look at a low offshore. It's throwing rain showers up our way from south to north. It looks like mostly passing light showers today, which is radar currently has. There's some rain up in Battleground right now. Snow level is about 4,000 feet, just an inch or two at most, probably up in the high country today. We're at 47 degrees, so not a bad day. A few showers around, 50 degrees at noon. And we'll be up to about 53 for a high, it looks like. Still some east breezes out near the gorge, gusting to around 30 this morning. Here's Chris.
Comfortable stuff. All right, let's get you out the door. Quick look at the drive out of Clark County. We are pretty wide open. Lots of elbow room over the Interstate Bridge, so no problems there. The Sylvan Hill on Highway 26 looks good as well. We hop over to the east side. Here's Interstate 84, the Banfield out near 205, and that looks good. And you're driving from Wilsonville. Free and clear. Guys, no freeway trouble on this Monday morning just yet.
Okay, thank you so much, Chris. Our top story at 5 takes us to Gresham. A popular restaurant there is now closed after a fire damaged the building.
We're talking about Heidi's. We're going to take you there right now. The fire happened yesterday. Gresham Fire says it got the call around 5 o'clock Sunday morning. It reportedly started on the outside of the building and then spread into the back entrance and the freezers. In a Facebook post, Heidi's claims someone set this fire intentionally, but Gresham Fire still says the cause remains under investigation. The restaurant says it will be closed until it can make all the necessary repairs.
Vancouver police need your help finding this 72-year-old woman. Take a look at your screen. Her name is Nettie Denevant, and she's been missing since Friday. She was last seen near Extended Stay America at Northeast 115th Avenue and 3rd Street on Vancouver's east side. Police say she has health issues that need attention. She was last seen wearing a white cardigan with dark-colored pants. If you see her, call 911.
Amtrak trains are running again between Portland and Seattle after crews cleared a landslide from the track. So the landslide happened Thursday of last week, covering the tracks with debris in Philida, north of Vancouver. This is the same area where 4 separate slides disrupted Amtrak service just last month. If you had to change your reservation because of this latest disruption, you can call Amtrak's customer service line to have the fees for making your changes waived.
Lawmakers in Washington have less than 3 weeks left in their legislative session. There are also 3 initiatives in Washington that are headed straight to voters. One bill going to voters calls for the repeal of the state's climate law. A second bill up for a vote would repeal Washington's capital gains tax. And the third one would allow people to opt out of what is now a mandatory long-term care payroll deduction. All 3 bills will be on the Washington ballot this November. The last day of the state's current legislative session is March 7th.
Well, in just a few weeks, we're going to spring forward, of course, into daylight saving time. But there's a new bill in the Oregon legislature that wants to change the practice of changing our clocks twice a year.
And unlike previous attempts, this bill would not require congressional approval. Our Devin Haskins is live in the newsroom this morning to explain. Hey there, Devin.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, so we're in standard time right now, as you just said. So if this was permanent all year round, our sunrises at the earliest in the summer would be somewhere in the 4 a.m. hour. But the trade-off would be get a lot darker a lot sooner at night. Both Oregon and Washington legislatures are looking to make that permanent change. They both have a ways to go, but it's a change from previous attempts. 5 years ago, both Oregon and Washington passed bills to make daylight saving time permanent. But that permanent change requires congressional approval, which hasn't happened yet. So making a switch to permanent standard time, well, it's a strategy that Arizona, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands used in order to keep from changing their clocks. A University of Washington professor spoke against the bill, saying the darker evening hours of standard time are a real safety concern.
That evening rush hour kills 3 times as many people as the morning rush hour does because there's more people on the road. There's more kids enjoying outdoor unsupervised play. There's more alcohol in drivers' bloodstreams. People are rushing to get home. And by pushing daylight into the evening hours, that's what daylight saving time does, we can actually dramatically reduce the number of fatalities on our roads.
All right, so here's the thing. Not all of Oregon is in the same time zone. A large portion of Malheur County, it's not included in this bill because most of it is in the mountain time zone. Back to you.
All right, Devin, we appreciate that update this morning.
This year's 2024 Kobe Bryant MVP trophy goes to Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard, your All-Star Game MVP, 39 points last night, hitting shots from all over the place, including half court a couple of times. So the East won this game. I don't know, Rod, if you saw this final score. 211 to 186. That was the final score of the game.
There was a lack of defense.
You might say. That score represents the most ever in All-Star Game history. And then Saturday night, by the way, Dame also won the three-point shooting contest. He's the first back-to-back champ for that contest since 2008. Coming up at 5:30, we're going to have highlights of the one-on-one three-point matchup between Sabrina Ionescu and Steph Curry. That was a real highlight from the weekend.
You know, you get up and you go grab a beer or soda, whatever beverage you want.
Water.
And you come back and you sit down and you go, hey, man, what I missed? And he goes, oh, about 30 points.
No, it was
They
crazy.
scored 200.
You would literally walk out the room and come back and the score had changed by dozens.
It's still weird to me that he's part of the Milwaukee Bucks now.
Yeah.
I know, it's weird.
I think that was the first All-Star game he's ever started. So he had to leave here to get an All-Star game start.
Hey, at 4:30, we aired a story by our environmental reporter, what's Kale's last
Cale
name?
Williams.
Cale
Williams.
You could have gotten away
Well, I
with Cale.
never go Cale Williams. I just go, hi, Cale. Anyway, he really does great work for us, and I don't think we're going to play it in this hour, but you can find his story on our KGW YouTube channel about declining snowpack. So here's a graphic that I have shown you before on the air, but seems timely with Cale's piece that's now up on our YouTube page. And this is Mount Hood site specific. So again, we're talking about declining snowpack. So the average between 1971 and 2000 is when at the end of the season, going into May 1st, we had 65 inches of stored water in the snowpack. Now, at that same time frame, going into May 1st, we only have 48 inches of stored water. So we're on pace between 1971 and probably by the year 2030 to have lost 20 inches on the average season, 20 inches less, if you will, of stored water up there. And that's significant. Now, one thing that does factor into that is not necessarily the amount of snow, although snow levels are going higher, but the fact that we're also melting it off sooner. So when you measure the snowpack at the end of the season, we've already melted off more than we had melted, you know, if you go back 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Anyway, interesting topic. There's our upper level low that's feeding the rain showers. You can see them just migrating California, Oregon up into Washington. Everything's moving south to north. No stormy weather today, no watches, no warnings, no advisories. A little bit of light snow up in the Cascades at 4,000 feet, but probably talking just an inch or two. And for the rest of us, it'll be passing light showers, primarily light showers from time to time. Temperatures here on the west side, not an issue. If you look at Eugene and Salem, Newport and Kelso and up to Seattle, we're all at 40 or better. And it is above freezing out in the gorge this morning. The Dow's at 37. The gorge did have some snow Saturday morning that we expected, but as I mentioned last night into this morning, temps have stayed above 32. This isn't going to show you a whole lot. Your Futurecast movie, just notice mostly light showers migrating south to north, and at times a little bit of snow up in the Cascades. Tomorrow, we're a lot more unstable, so we do expect some of these scattered downpours in the forecast. Overall, we keep the showery weather pattern with us at this point through Wednesday. It was looking like we would be dry Wednesday. Now we have the showery pattern through Wednesday, and we start drying out on Thursday. Here's the wider look. Not a lot of measurable precip once you get east of the Cascades today. Temperatures are going to be a little noticeably warmer, if you will, than they were yesterday. 54 in Salem today. Southeast winds away from the gorge 5 to 15. We still have the winds near the gorge itself gusting to about 30 miles per hour. Again, a few scattered showers. Temperatures reaching 50 to 53 in Portland. Similar numbers tomorrow and Wednesday. There's that nice dry run Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And coming up at 6:38 and 5:38 this morning, we'll talk more about this strong front that comes in Sunday. It looks to be a good one. That's coming up.
Hey, can't wait to hear about it now. Thanks, Rod.